It started with a whisper and ended with the entire internet screaming, "No trailers, no countdown, no warning." Just a sudden, almost eerie drop that flipped everything we thought we knew about Chrisean rock upside down in a matter of minutes. Because just when the world believed her chaotic chapter with Blueface had finally burned out, she came back with something no one, not even her biggest fans, could have predicted. A gospel song. But this wasn't redemption. Not the kind you expect. This felt like a confession. Within 30 minutes, the track wasn't just trending, it was dominating every platform. TikTok exploded. Twitter melted down. Fans were crying, reacting, replaying the same lines over and over like they were trying to decode something hidden between the words. Because the voice they were hearing, it didn't sound like fame. It sounded like pain, raw, unfiltered almost. Desperate. He broke me, but heaven heard me. That one lyric alone sent shockwaves across the internet. Because everyone instantly knew who he might be. But here's where it gets even more disturbing. As millions praised her healing era, insiders started dropping hints that this song wasn't just music, it was a message, a warning wrapped in melody, a story she couldn't say out loud, so she sang it instead. And then the leaks started. A voice note, a screenshot, a date that keeps showing up, April 19th, the same week she disappeared without explanation, the same week something allegedly happened that no one has fully explained. Until now. Suddenly this wasn't a comeback story anymore. It was a mystery, a possible cover-up, and maybe something much darker hiding behind the spotlight. Because just as the world started celebrating her transformation, someone from her past stepped forward with a claim so explosive, threatens to destroy everything she just built. And if what they're hinting at is true, then this gospel song was never about healing. It was about exposure. And what comes next might not just break the internet again. It might expose a truth nobody is ready to hear. The moment the song crossed 1 million streams, something in the air shifted, not slowly, not quietly, but like a switch had been flipped behind the scenes of the entire internet. 1 minute, Chrisean rock was still being dragged in old clips, reduced to chaos and controversy. The next, she was everywhere. Not as a meme, not as drama, but as something far more dangerous. A voice people couldn't ignore anymore. But that transformation didn't come clean. It came messy. Explosive. And filled with cracks that started showing almost immediately. Because as fans replayed the gospel track over and over, something strange began happening. The lyrics didn't just feel emotional, they felt specific. Too specific. Lines that sounded less like worship and more like coded memories. Confessions hidden behind metaphor, pain wrapped in prayer. And then someone slowed the track down. That's when the first real crack appeared at exactly 2:03. In the audio, buried under harmonies, there's a faint whisper, almost impossible to catch at normal speed, but enhanced. It sounded like a sentence. I tried to leave. He wouldn't let me. Within minutes, clips of that moment flooded TikTok. Millions of views. Thousands of theories. People weren't just listening anymore, they were investigating. And just as that theory started gaining traction, Blueface went live. No warning. No context. Just rage. He didn't ease into it. Didn't laugh it off. He came in hot, eyes locked on the camera like he'd been waiting for this moment. Y'all really falling for this? He snapped. That ain't healing. That's acting. The comment section exploded instantly. But then he went further, she telling half a story. Ask her what really happened that night. That night, the same phrase from the leak. The same phrase fans were already obsessed with. And just like that, everything spiraled because now there was a pattern. A hidden reference in the song, a warning in the voice note, and now a direct accusation. Live, unfiltered and impossible to ignore. Within minutes, hashtags took over. Hashtag that night. Hashtag Chrisean truth. Hashtag What happened? But the internet didn't get time to breathe because a second leak dropped. And this one hit harder. A screenshot? Allegedly from a private group chat between industry insiders. One message stood out. If she tells the full story, it's not just him going down. Not just him. Now the narrative wasn't just personal, it was bigger, darker, end. Okay? Possibly dangerous. Fans started connecting dots at lightning speed. Old interviews were resurfaced. Clips of Chrisean crying on live months ago suddenly looked different. Not dramatic, but scared. Moments where she went silent mid-sentence. Times she laughed something off that didn't seem funny, and then someone found it, an old live stream barely noticed at the time. She's sitting in a car. Late at night, eyes red, voice shaking. "I just want to be free," she says quietly. But it's not that simple. At the time it got ignored now. It went viral overnight because suddenly it sounded like a clue. But just when sympathy for her started building again, the story twisted. Hard. A new audio clip surfaced. Longer this time, clearer. A female voice sounding almost identical to Chrisean speaking in what sounds like a studio session. "I can't keep lying for them. It's eating me alive." For them, not him. Them, that single word detonated the internet again, because now the question wasn't just about Blueface anymore. It was about who else was involved. Managers, producers, labels. Suddenly, this wasn't a relationship drama. It was starting to feel like an industry. Secrets slipping out in real time. And right when speculation hit its peak, something even stranger happened. The music video, Glitched. At first, people thought it was a normal edit. But fans who downloaded the video early noticed something different from the reuploaded version. A frame was missing. One single frame, the same frame people had already been talking about. The hospital wristband, April 19th. Now it was gone, deleted. Edited out like it was never there. That's when panic set in, because accidental details don't just disappear. They get removed. And the moment fans realized that, the conversation shifted again. From curiosity to suspicion. From suspicion to fear. Because if someone was actively editing the narrative in real time, then what exactly were they trying to hide? And why now? Behind the scenes, things were getting even messier. A verified blog reported that a second version of the song had been pulled hours before release. A version described as too revealing, according to an anonymous source. That version contained a spoken outro, not singing, not metaphor, but direct words that allegedly named people. Real people, powerful people. And that's when another insider stepped forward anonymously. "Of course, this isn't about music anymore," they wrote. "It's about control. She wasn't supposed to flip the narrative like this. Wasn't supposed to." That phrase hit different because it implied something chilling, that maybe this whole story wasn't supposed to go this way, that maybe her comeback wasn't planned, it was forced. And that's when Chrisean Rock finally broke her. Silence. No long statement. No interview. Just one post. A black background, white text. "They tried to break me." Quietly. That was it. No names. No details, but it was enough. Because minutes later, celebrities started reacting. RDIB posted a cryptic tweet. "Truth always sound crazy until it's proven." Fans went wild. Was she supporting Chrisean? Was she hinting at something bigger? Then Nicki Minaj liked a fan video breaking down the alleged hidden messages in the song. Now, it wasn't just gossip, it was validation. And just when it felt like the entire industry was watching, Blueface came back again. But this time, he didn't yell, he didn't rant, he smiled. Cold, almost amused. Almost amused. And then he posted one single thing. A screenshot. An email. Subject line, "Final warning. Do not release additional material." No sender. No context. Just that. And a caption. She'll know what this about? The internet froze because now this wasn't messy drama anymore. This felt like a threat. And if that email was real, then whatever Chrisean was about to reveal next was something someone was desperate to keep hidden. And just when people thought they'd seen the peak of this chaos, a new leak started circulating in private groups. Not a screenshot, not a rumor, a file. An audio file.ontitled.unverified, but according to the few who heard it before it got taken down, it changes everything. Because in that recording, there's a moment where a voice, shaking, barely holding together, says something that no one was ready to hear. Something that, if true, doesn't just expose one person, it exposes all of them. And the most terrifying part, the voice sounds exactly like her. The file wasn't supposed to spread. That's what made it explode even faster. Within minutes of that unnamed audio leaking into private groups, it escaped containment like wildfire, jumping from Discord servers to X threads, from Telegram channels to TikTok edits, until suddenly the entire internet was holding its breath over the same 2 minutes and 14 seconds of sound that no one could unhear at first. It's just silence. Then a faint shuffle, a chair, scraping, dot, and then the voice shaking. Fragile, unmistakable. It sounds like Chrisean rock, but not the version people see online. Not the loud, chaotic personality the internet turned into a spectacle. This voice is different, quieter, broken. I tried to stay quiet, but they kept pushing me. The voice whispers, not he. That word hit harder than anything else. Because now, whatever this was, it wasn't just about Blueface anymore. It was bigger. The clip continues, a breath. Shaky? Like she's trying not to cry. They told me it would ruin everything. If I didn't play my part. The internet didn't just react this time, it panicked. Because suddenly, every theory that once sounded crazy started sounding possible. Fans weren't just debating anymore, they were connecting dots, building timelines, digging into old footage like investigators trying to solve something much deeper than celebrity drama. And then came the line that changed everything. I signed because I thought I had no choice. Signed what? A contract. An agreement? Something worse. Before anyone could process it. The audio cuts off with a soft click, like a door closing. And just like that, it was over. But the damage? Irreversible. Within 10 minutes, re-uploads were everywhere. Reaction videos, breakdown threads, experts analyzing tone, background noise, even the echo of the room to prove whether it was real or AI generated. Some claimed it was fake, too convenient, too cinematic. Others swore it matched her voice perfectly, down to the smallest inflection. But while the internet argued, something strange started happening behind the scenes. Videos discussing the leak began disappearing. Entire posts wiped, accounts going silent. Even major gossip pages started posting cryptic messages like, "We've been asked to stop covering this." Asked by who? No one had answers, but everyone felt it, pressure, like something invisible was trying to push the story back into the dark, and that only made it louder. Because now, it wasn't just about what was said in that recording. It was about why someone didn't want it heard. Meanwhile, Blueface broke his silence again, but this time, it wasn't loud, chaotic, or emotional. It was calculated. Black screen, white text, she should have stayed. Quiet. No explanation, no denial, no defense, just that dot, and then his account vanished, gone. Deleted. Without warning. That's when fear turned into full-blown chaos. Because people don't disappear in the middle of a scandal unless something bigger is happening behind the scenes. Within hours, hashtags exploded again. Hashtag where's Blueface? Hashtag Chrisean leak. Hashtag Dane Naughty. The narrative had completely shifted. This wasn't about a toxic spree relationship anymore. This felt like exposure. And then, just when the tension felt unbearable, Chrisean went live. No announcement. No build-up. Just A sudden notification that pulled hundreds of thousands of viewers in within seconds. The screen was dark at first. You could hear faint humming in the background, soft, almost like a gospel melody. Then the camera adjusted, and there she was. Eyes swollen, face calm, but heavy. Like someone carrying something they can't put down. She didn't greet anyone, didn't smile, didn't even acknowledge the flood of comments. She just stared into the camera for a long, uncomfortable moment. Before finally speaking, I didn't think it would go this far. Her voice was steady, but you could feel the weight behind it. I just wanted to tell my story, my way. The comments exploded instantly. What story? Is the audio real? Who is they? She read them. You could see it in her eyes. But she didn't answer directly. Instead, she took a breath and said something that sent chills through everyone watching. If I say everything, it won't just change my life. She paused and then finished the sentence slowly. It'll change theirs too. There's again, that word. Before anyone could react, she leaned closer to the camera, voice dropping to almost a whisper. Some people you think are powerful are only powerful because nobody talks. And then just like that, the live ended. No goodbye, no explanation, nothing. The screen went black and the internet, it erupted. Because now it was clear this wasn't just about her. Past, this wasn't just about him. This was about something bigger, something hidden, something that had been protected. Until now, within minutes, celebrities started reacting again. Cardi B posted, "Y'all better pay attention. Silence always got a price." Kanye West followed with, "Truth don't trend. It gets buried." And suddenly, it felt like the entire industry was watching in real time, not just as spectators, but as people who might be connected to whatever was about to come out next. Because insiders were already whispering again about another track, unreleased, unfiltered, a follow-up to the gospel song, but darker, more direct, less metaphor. And if the rumors are even half true, it doesn't just hint at the truth, it names it. And that's when the fear really set in. Because if she releases that track, there's no going back. Careers could end overnight, reputations could collapse, and the story everyone thought they understood could be completely rewritten. But here's the part that has everyone on edge. She hasn't posted since no tweets, no updates, no clues, just silence. And after everything that's already happened, that silence feels louder than anything else. Because now the question isn't just what happened, it's what's coming next, and whether the truth she's hinting at is something the world is actually ready to hear. Because if this really is bigger than one relationship, if they are real, then this gospel song was never just music. It was the beginning of something much more dangerous. And whatever comes next won't just break the internet, it might expose everything. If you've made it this far, then you already know. This isn't just another celebrity story you can scroll past and forget. This is unfolding in real time, piece by piece, leak by leak, and every second you look away, something bigger drops. What started as a simple gospel release from Chrisean rock has now turned into one of the most unpredictable, explosive, and mysterious sagas the internet has ever witnessed. And the scariest part, we still don't have the full truth. So now it's your turn. I need you to speak on this. Do you think she's finally telling her truth? Or is there something even deeper being hidden behind all this? And what about Blueface? Is he exposing something real or trying to control the narrative before it all comes crashing down? Drop your opinion in the comments right now. Don't hold back, because the conversation is only getting louder and your voice could be the one that sparks the next viral debate. Hit like if you felt the shift in this story, subscribe and turn on notifications immediately, because if another leak drops, if that rumored second track surfaces, or if either of them breaks their silence again, you do not want to be the last to know. This isn't just content anymore. It's a countdown. And trust me, you'll want a front row seat when everything finally explodes. and everything finally explodes.